Hello, my name's Damian Jones. I'm from H&H Classics. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the 130 odd motor cars we've got going under the hammer at the Imperial War Museum, Duxford, on Wednesday, November the 15th. Among the concours standard cars, there's a 1963 Jaguar E-Type 3.8 fixed-head coupe that was supplied new to Ivor Arbiter, the proprietor of Drum City and the designer of the Drop T logo for the Beatles. That's been beautifully restored by Warren Classics and has already won a couple of awards and doubtless would do accrue more in the future. There's a 1921 Wolsey 10 200-mile race evocation. That's a recreation of the car that Captain Miller raced for the Works Wolsey team, and that is beautiful. It's finished in polished aluminium and it's just an exquisite little machine. We also have a fair few celebrity cars entered for November the 15th. So we've got the late Tara Palmer Tompkinson's BMW 645. There's a Bentley Arnage that was formerly the property of heavyweight champion of the world Frank Bruno, and a Rolls-Royce Corniche convertible that was formerly the property of Sir Bruce Forsyth CBE. So again, big range of age vehicles in there. We've got everything from a 1907 Rover 6 horsepower through to a 2006 Ford Mustang convertible that was used by pop group JLS on an arena tour. Other individual vehicles that stand out, there is a 1950 Alesso 7-litre single-seater. Now that was a car that was conceived by Don Alesso with help from none other than Juan Manuel Fangio. Sadly, by the time the car was finalised and began testing, it was obsolete. Contemporary regulations had changed, but an enormously brave effort and a car with links to someone who a lot of people consider to be the greatest ever Formula One driver. There's a 1936 Bentley 4.25 litre Van Boren sports saloon, which is a pillarless design, and that was supplied new to Jean-Paul Boucheron of the Boucheron jewellery dynasty, who've supplied jewels to British royal family, Russian royal family, royal families all over the world really. And that car was built to a unique specification. It's got Marshall lights on it, it's got a centre spotlight with a projector, it's got lightweight seats, it has a taller rear axle ratio, and again, very handsome car. There's a Ford Sierra RS 500 Cosworth. It's unusual because it was registered to Ford's competition department and has covered 23,000 miles from new. There's also a Peter Gregory built MG K3 evocation, which is beautifully detailed, lots and lots of correct type features on it, and ideal for somebody who wants the thrills of an MG K3 but without the worry expense of an original. We've been fortunate enough to be given quite a few collections for this November 15th sale. So there's the Old Hall collection, that's 8 vehicles coming from Old Hall, all of which have been entered without reserve. There's a Rover P6 in there, a 3500 automatic saloon that's been in the family from new, Morris Minor saloon that had one former keeper and has been used by the children to learn to drive, all the way through to a nice older restored Bentley R-Type saloon. There's a nice Rolls-Royce 2025 in there with Park Ward coachwork. Another collection on offer is a group of cars that have come over to us from Ireland, and there's some very unusual things in there. So there's a 1968 Hillman Imp Californian with just 82 miles on the clock, 82. The same collection, there's a Triumph Stag in there, a late Stag which was registered in 78. That was formerly part of the Patrick collection. That's done 10,800 miles. It's a manual overdrive car. A third collection that we've had entered for Duxford includes some very interesting vehicles. There's a 1918 Austin 20 horsepower prototype Tourer. That's a particularly historic Austin 20 horsepower, and that has been the subject of a restoration in the early 2000s and unusually has featured in magazine articles in 1918, 1919 and 2009. Also included in that collection is a 1943 International Harvester M5 half-track personnel carrier that we believe was used by the Polish forces during the European theatre of war in World War II and got as far as Germany. We know that because when the half-track was initially being restored, it bore overhaul plaques from the Mercedes-Benz Stuttgart works immediately post-war. It's been restored by a specialist company in Holland in more recent years. 2,500 hours worth of restoration gone into it, and it is a magnificent example. The same collection, there is a World War II Jeep that's even got a bullet hole in its inner wing that then later saw service with the Norwegian Army. And there's a Mustang in there which is done out as a tribute to the Bud Moore, famous Bud Moore Trans Am cars of 69-70. Among the barn finds and the garage finds, there's a 1930s Morgan three-wheeler project, an immediately post-war 1948 Morgan 4.4 project. There's a Triumph TR4A that's looking for somebody to bring it back to its former glory. There's a very rare and unusual and pretty Talbot BI 105 airline saloon project. And there are two Mercedes-Benz Adenauer cars that have just recently been brought out of a garage in Yorkshire. There's a 300C saloon and a 300B cabriolet. Both are right-hand drive, and the cabriolet is thought to be just one of 7 such cars built, and indeed was retained by Mercedes-Benz UK for the first 11 years of its life. We look forward to welcoming as many of you as possible to Duxford. We're on public view on Tuesday, November the 14th from midday through till 6 o'clock, and doors open on sale day, Wednesday the 15th at 9 o'clock. The auction will start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with number plates. We'll move straight on to the motor cars thereafter. For those of you who can't make it, we would welcome you to use the new H&H online facility, which is our own bidding platform supported by BidPath and SagePay, which doesn't attract any of the surcharges associated with the third-party platforms we've offered before. So really does mean you'll be paying exactly the same as if you were physically present in the auction room. We hope you can make it to Duxford. If not, we hope you can watch online. Thank you. Bye-bye.